The way I stayed motivated on the edge of extinction was basically telling myself every day that no matter how hard and how miserable I was, if I worked hard and I grinded for those fire tokens, I would be setting myself up for the best possible opportunity to get back on the beach. I would visualize myself winning a battle back, and that would just motivate me to grind and get as many fire tokens so that I could buy an idol and all the advantages, so I could make sure I was setting myself up with the best chances to beat everybody I was out there with. And that's what made my grind worth it. Every day I would tell myself that even though it's hard work, it would pay off, and I was there for a reason, and I never rested. I made Edge of Extinction my sole purpose, and I made it the whole reason I was there. There was nothing else that I was focused on except playing the best version of Survivor I could. This season, I learned that my mental strength is just as strong as my physical strength. I think that I've always known that I'm a very physical player, and that my physical assets are something that I always rely on. But I think being on the edge of extinction really taxed my mental capacity to be able to be committed to something, work hard, and never give up. I think obviously being able to rely on my physical strengths through challenges and dominating on any kind of physical activity was easy, but I think the mental aspect of being on the edge of extinction was a new battle for me. It was twice as hard as my first season of Survivor, and I think that I can look back and be really proud of how mentally strong and how much grit I had. Being a millionaire on the edge of extinction definitely made me feel warm and fuzzy, especially on those cold, long, lonely nights when everybody else was really sad and depressed. Thinking about all my fire tokens kept me nice and warm. I think that physically seeing the accumulation of the fire tokens were representation of my hard work and me being able to do so well on the challenges. And so even though challenges sometimes would take 3+ hours, seeing my hard work in the form of the fire tokens definitely gave me motivation to keep working hard. When it came to fire tokens, I knew that I was being really frugal with how I was spending them. Maybe I could have bought peanut butter early in the game, and maybe could have changed my performance on the first battle back, but at the same time I was really excited that I was able to buy protection for another edger, particularly Tyson, because he's an amazing challenge competitor, and I knew that he had already got back in the game, so he had already tasted what it felt like to get back in the game, and I could see he was still hungry for gameplay. And being able to spread the wealth towards the end with Tyson was an amazing feeling. It was a really unique and special situation for me, and an experience that kind of opened my eyes to Survivor being not only gameplay, but sometimes the collective, and the idea of if he won, I won. Besides myself, there are a couple of people that strike me as playing a really good game on the main beach. I think I can say that Tony's playing a good game. I think I proved that when I sent him the extortion and he was able to rally up as many fire tokens as he did. That kind of proved that he had created some solid alliances. I think that besides him, Denise is playing a good game. She's performing really well on challenges, and she's kind of created this alliance around her that rallies for her, even though they know that she's kind of a threat at the end. I love Michelle's game. I think playing from the bottom is super difficult, but I think at the same time she's able to hustle and grind, and I think that people sleep on her when it comes to challenges. Seeing her do really bad on an immunity challenge and then come back and win when it was really necessary is what you got to do on Survivor, and that girl has a lot of fight, and I gotta respect it. My relationships on the edge of extinction were mostly built on pure misery. I think at the start, my relationships were built based on survival and the actual aspect of surviving extinction. They weren't strategic relationships. My relationship with Amber and Ethan, those were purely built on us trying to exist on the edge and get by each day, leaning on each other. I needed Ethan, I needed Amber to wake up each morning and have the motivation to keep going. And those relationships were based not strategically, but I think those relationships would be a good platform if I made it to the end. I think that my game evolved from being an edger and eventually making it back onto the beach. Those relationships could play a part in votes or winning the game.